Good morning everyone and welcome to this week's video. We are really enjoying seeing some growth and colour in the garden, and because the weather was so beautiful, we spent time planting fruits, vegetables and a few more flowers. You can never have enough flowers. As one part of powering our off-grid life, John walks you through assembling a biogas digester, which will produce biogas and liquid fertiliser from plants on the land.
I'm going to move this barrel here today. That barrel has been there for a while. Reason being, remember the fire? Well, I put all of the carbon, the potash, the charcoal, the whole lot is in there. So what I'm doing with it is I'm taking it out and I am putting it on top of the compost pile there and the one over in the far corner. That, as the compost is breaking down, that carbon and potash will absorb the nutrients that's in it and will hold it, so it makes very beneficial for the plants when it does get to that stage. But guys, look at this. These are the beneficial plants that I want to use throughout the garden for insects and and you can eat this. The flower is edible and so is the leaf. It tastes a little bit like wasabi, and I like wasabi. I know it's a very potent thing, but it's quite nice. We also got to sow some strawberries, and these are wicking pots which I make. They have a reservoir of water down in the bottom of them, and you can fill them either from the soil or from the pipe that you see there. We also sowed some strawberries in amongst the rocks. It's nice to have a couple of different variations in how and where you sow something. We like to do it that way, and the strawberries here will grow down over the rock, and the rock will act as a sort of a heat sink as well, because the strawberries like the heat, and they're flowering and almost ready to burst into fruit already, and I don't think it'll be too long before we start to enjoy the fruit. Angela gets to sow some bulbs. Now these bulbs will take a little bit for them to flower, but they have a beautiful fragrance. So as part of the garden for us, it's important to have fragrance. It's nice to walk throughout the garden and to brush off of something and get a nice aroma from it. As well, in this part of the garden, this is where for us the flower bed, so to speak, is going to end, and then from there back, just past where Angela is working at the moment, we are going to sow more vegetables and things that are much more edible. We have been working on increasing the soil quality in this part of the garden, because we knew all along that this was a nice place to put some vegetables. It will get a reasonably good sun, and we have an irrigation system in there now, so everything is pretty much set up and ready to go. So we're really looking forward to doing some planting on that. As we go along this part of the garden, we will keep you updated on it, and it will be nice to see the growth in it, and then finally it will be really cool to get some produce out of it. This is a clip from our last video, and I mentioned about getting up and down on these barrels and what we were doing with them. It's part of a system that we're going to build to power our off-grid life. These here, the two barrels that you see here, That is a planter, is the smaller one, which is upside down at the moment, and I'll explain. And the other one is to catch liquid fertilizer. So that one will receive liquid fertilizer from an anaerobic digester. And this planter, I'm going to put it inside of the top of that to stop bugs from getting into it. It will also be a wicking pot, so any water that is an overflow will go into the part where the fertilizer goes. So there won't be any water waste. That fertilizer, you can mix it 10-to-1, so it's really, really good quality fertilizer. And it's all natural. It all comes from plants. And all of it is going to be 100% natural. This is the main part of it, which is, there's several different names for it, but it's an anaerobic digester or a biogas digester. And the way that it works is it breaks down waste with no oxygen. So you seal the unit, and it's really, really important to understand this, guys. If you are doing this, it's biogas that it produces, and it's important that every aspect of it is done properly. So I cut holes in the top of it there to receive, this is a feeder pipe. The feeder pipe, the bigger the better, because then you are able to put the food into it much easier. And it goes down to the bottom of the barrel, so you have to make sure that it's well in there. And I have cut an edge off of it so that the food won't get trapped in the bottom of it. When I am ready to finish it, I will seal off everything, make sure everything is safe and secure. This is where the gas will come out. I am going to seal this in properly, and once it's done, then the gas will come to the top and will come out through that into a cleaning system, which I'm going to make, or gas scrubbers as they are called. Two taps that you see at the bottom of the barrel, the one on the digester is to allow it to be relieved, or to take out some of the residue which could form at the bottom. The other one, which is in the fertilizer container, is to harvest the liquid fertilizer. The pipe system that you see there to the right hand side of the digester, it's an anti-siphon system, and it's establishing the water level inside of the tank. So where the bend comes out, that is the elevation of the water level inside. You feed the system itself from this pipe, and it goes down to the bottom of the digester, or to the bottom of the barrel. I also have a cover on it to keep it nice and to keep it clean, and really to stop any flies and bugs from getting into it as well. It's good practice to occasionally agitate the bottom of the digester, so I've produced this. It's out of a 1 meter piece of rod and a few L brackets, really, that I bent over to just to make it the shape work, and I can agitate it from the top with a drill. The reason for the black cloth around it is the digester itself, as a working system, likes heat. It doesn't like the cold at all. It won't function in the cold. So for that purpose, I put the black on it to absorb the heat, and I'm also going to put it in a sunny part of the garden. I'm going to keep the food stock for this system really simple. Unchlorinated water and this. Cactus. Apparently cactus makes really good biogas. And if there's something that we have lots of here, is wild cactus. So I'm hoping, guys, lots of wild cactus is going to equal lots of good quality biogas. And I will, of course, clean it, and then we can work our generator off of it and cook with this. This is the location that I'm going to put the digester. It's really sunny, so it will catch good sun. It will get good heat. and I will put the digester to the front and the fertilizer container to the back, so it will be in a little bit of shade with the planter on the top of it. There's also part of the automated irrigation system here, so everything will be a sort of very neatly and compactly put into that corner, out of the way and safe. I'll also have to put in the gas scrubber and some way to store the gas, but I'm really looking forward to it.
That's it for another week. I hope you enjoy the video, and maybe you have some appreciation of what it's like for me to live with this mad scientist, crazy inventor husband that I have. But most of his projects work out, and I'm sure he always has one in his head or on the go. So let's see what the next one will be now that this has become a reality. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said before, it doesn't cost anything. And leave a comment on the video if you can, or if you'd like to, because it really helps our algorithms and helps improve our channel.
And thank you very much for watching.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.